What's up, YouTube? Wanted to dive into some good concepts today and hope you're all having a great week so far. And listen, there's a lot going on in the world, there's a lot going on in our lives, and that is what it may be. But it's important that we, have some focus on ourselves, where our journey is at, and what's going on inside us internally and externally, and how we're processing all of that and our growth here. So, listen, for those of you who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, there are things in this life, and you get to decide what has an impact on you. You get to decide what has control in your life and what doesn't. You get to decide who or what has a say in your life and what does not. You have that power. And for those of you who have stumbled off your path, there's good news. You can get that power back. And you're just one choice away from deciding, hey, this is my life. I'm going to take it over and do something that I've never done before. Try something new. Adapt. For years, I had always thought of myself as someone who chameleonized, blended in, and thought that was who I was, but never actually lived that out step by step. Yes, I did go along with the flow, but to truly adapt to, it's different when you're putting your foot down and you're putting things in place, like we talked about in the last video, setting things up in your life to the point where your new standard is what you say it is, and that's, you don't accept anything less. Okay? There are people who respect you now who are not going to respect you 3 days from now. There are situations that will come up. That's why it's important that we get ahead the best we can. And I think that if we can get ahead just enough to the point where in this life where we can start to stop focusing on what gas prices are doing, or stop focusing on what is happening in the external world, then we can really get down to the bottom of who we are, who we want to be remembered as, and the very walk, the very act of living that out through every word you say, every step you take. It's about today. It's about living for today. It's about living that out. It's about the process. It's not about, where you're going to be in 20 years. It's about focusing on today and where each day puts you, so that maybe in the future you're going to be in an incredible place if you make those consistent good decisions for you, whatever it is. I've said this before, but fill in the blanks. Decide what that's going to be in your life. I can't decide it for you. There's going to be a lot of things that come up. There's going to be a lot of changes that happen. I found for me, like, here's one thing. I'll give you an example. Number one, being more spiritually open with myself, being more aligned, being more like, it's all good, man. Like, it's all good. ladies and gents, brothers and sisters, like, hey, we're going to be okay. Let's not overthink this. Let's not get too stressed out to the point where we're bottling all this up inside and then we just snap on somebody later. If we just release all of that at the beginning, we don't have to deal with that extra stress. It takes a toll on our bodies. You've seen it. You know how it takes a toll on you. You do. And, you end up with sleepless nights and you're tired and this and that. Now, listen, I understand if you're in survival mode. If you're in fight or flight mode and you're struggling to survive, that is normal. I understand. But everything else, like all the other stresses, why are we even worrying about it? So I hope that your life can get to a point where you figured out things just enough, where you've set things in place to the extent that it's going to get you where you need to go. It's going to be the forward momentum that carries you just far enough so you can start making these better decisions in your life. And ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not decisions that the president is going to determine. They're not decisions that your family is going to determine. They're not decisions that your neighbor or your coworker or, somebody that you see in the store is going to determine. A stranger is going to determine. No, these are things that you and only you have to lay out for your life. And this is why I get excited about. This is why I get so passionate and so excited about doing this and walking this journey with you all, because this is what I do. So essentially, I'm just some guy, but I'm a life coach in training, and I just love doing life. And I love sharing this with you all and giving you little gems here and there, what I can. But yeah, once you realize nothing can touch you unless you give it permission in your life, like all bets are off. You're freaking invincible. My brothers and sisters, you are invincible. Nothing can touch you. Nothing they put on your name will scar it. Nothing that they try and take away from you will matter to you. Look, this is coming from, aside from a few things, this has come from somebody who essentially lost everything, almost. I'm well on my way to doing that. And I was dead close. Give or take a couple weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, dead close. But listen, it's about the life that you're going to be building after that keeps you going, And yeah, like I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm here, I'm standing, I'm doing this, I'm talking to you all, and trust me, I'm living proof that, and this is why it's so important that I explain to you that everything's going to be okay in your life. You're going to attack this thing head on and you're going to make it. I understand that everything is going up in price. I understand that they've literally, set this up in such a way that it makes it hard for you to live. But like, I'm not living in the current world anymore. I'm living in my spiritual world. So like, those things can't touch me anymore. the past like month or so, I've made that transition where it's all spiritual, and I'm in alignment now. So it's not going to have as big of an impact on me. I hear people say this all the time. They say, you can start over. You can always start fresh. You can always start over. People start over every day of their lives. I have no idea how they do it. It's all of you. Y'all leave some high-paying job and then you go start a business. And within a 4-year period, that business has created millions of dollars. And it's benefiting those around you. Like, it's adding so much quality to their lives. It's not even funny. And that's why I'm so proud of you guys. You have a lot that you should be proud of. I was talking to my buddy Barry the other day, and I brought him up on this channel before, but I was like, bro, I literally told him, I'm like, bro, literally all you do is spend your time helping other people out. You literally volunteer all of your time to live with, spend time with, associate with, support, make sure that people who are struggling with substance abuse have all the time, energy, resources, tools that they need to get to where they need to go. And where they need to go is, finding help and living a changed life, moving on from that. So shout out to that brother, because that's literally all he does with his time. And I'm telling you, all I do with my time is I live this spiritually awakened life that I've always wanted to live. It involves all of you. It involves all people who are positive. It involves my people who are meant to be around me. And it's uplifting. So there's hope. There really is. And there's all kinds of techniques out there, exercises, meditations that you can do to get yourself back to an aligned state. But I mean, like, I'm just so proud of you guys as well. There are so many circumstances that you guys are in where you're like, maybe you shouldn't be making the money you're making, and you're making like 10 times that. And it's like, a lot of people who have like gone to school for most of their life, like they don't make anywhere near that or whatever, stuff like that. But like I said, but your business is actually like for y'all women out there, it's skincare, right? It's helping women. Like, I see that. Or some of you guys out there, you do auto detailing, right? And people obviously really enjoy that service, and they pay a premium for somebody who does really good work. And a lot of you guys do good work. There are you dog walkers out there. You dog walkers, you have this love for animals, and you take care of animals, and a lot of you do that, and that's your business, or that's what you do, your gig. But to walk around and see these people day in and day out, in the workplace, in the stores, out here driving around, stressing out and losing their mind over the weather, or what time of day it is, or whether or not a store has an item in stock or not, or whether or not the holiday is this picture perfect thing that they want it to be, or in my case, right? whether or not I was in a season of lack or not, whether I was in a state of lack or not. You know, I get it. You know, we get caught up in this world, but when you start to make that shift into an external reality of what's going on here, you know, you're focused on something else. You're focused on your spiritual world. You've left this thing behind because we know it's just going to get crazy and people are going to fight wars and do what they're going to do. But when we adapt, when we make that shift where we don't need that anymore, when we walk into that new phase of our life where we're good, you know, either way, trust me, that good either way energy is where you want to be. That's where I am now, and I freaking love it. It's like a high that you ride in this life that you never come down from. It's like, okay, you know, I've experienced the worst, right? Let me tell you something. It's really not all that bad. They project it to seem like this big, terrible thing. But you have a lot of people out there who care about you, and you have a choice of a lifestyle that you want to live. They're going to try and block you. There are people out there that are going to try and stop you from reaching out to people. They don't want you talking to people. They don't want you reaching out to those who need help because it makes them look bad. Do it anyways. Be the change. I can't even fathom. There are some of you out there that go to other countries and you help out children, or you know, much like myself, you donate to these children at St. Jude, or you donate to the children who are sick, who have cancer, who need your help. And y'all are literally the blood that keeps this whole thing going. You know, the heartbeat, the blood in the veins of this whole idea that I'm trying to describe to you. And if we can keep that ball rolling, that's the secret. We've got it figured out. You know, that's all you have to figure out in this life, is to get to that point where you're so spiritually aligned that nothing, literally nothing affects you. You decide what you're going to do with your life, and what you decide how it's going to have an impact on you, if it's going to have an impact. And you call the shots and say, look, I'm not living my former life. I'm walking into a new transitionary phase, and I'm going to become somebody who I've never been before. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, it's it takes a lot of courage and strength, but we decided a while ago that we were going to do this. So are we going to do it for real, or are we going to pretend that, yeah, you know, I'm that type of person, but only on like Saturdays and Sundays? Are we actually going to do it every day? What you put into it determines what you will get out of it. And I promise you it's going to be worth it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for being on this journey with me, and I love doing this. Thanks for letting me be a life coach for y'all, and wouldn't be here without you. So take care.